What's going on, guys? It's your boys from the sidelines here, and we're just gonna get straight into it with TCU losing to Georgia by 58. I think the biggest problem here that TCU faced was probably not praying enough, but they they basically got crucified to say the least. I mean, it's just tough, man. From
Yeah, well,
halftime, turned it off. I was like,
yeah,
it's
honestly, their
it's
defense. I mean, they had a pretty good game apparently defensively, as you could tell, putting up letting another team put up 65 on you. That's pretty good. But yeah, I mean, I don't know,
the only thing.
embarrassment.
I've heard a lot of people say this though on a real note, and I do agree. Obviously, can't take anything away from TCU because I wanted to see the upset happen really bad, and they played good against Michigan. But I think it was Joel Klatt that said it. If you put TCU against Michigan, Michigan's going to win at least probably 8 out of those 10 times, and they just happen to beat Michigan on a good when they had a good day. And it's
Yeah,
the same way, honestly, for this. Like, if they played this game 10 times, I don't think this is going to happen every single time. I don't even think they'll beat Georgia if they played 10 times, but I don't think they'd beat them 65-7.
and on another serious note, in regards to Georgia, specifically Stetson Bennett, I wonder how this affects his draft stock, if at all, because he's like 26, I think, or 25. I don't remember how old he is, but he'll be by the time that the actual football season starts next year, at least at the beginning of it, he'll turn 27, I think, or I don't know how old he is, but he's somewhere up there in his mid to late 20s. And I just wonder if he'll even be drafted, I guess. I want him to, and I said preseason, I think he should have or should be going into this upcoming draft. But if he does, honestly, he'll probably be like a sixth round pick at best.
Yeah, if anything, he'll still probably get drafted late, but that depends on if he signs an extension with Georgia first or not.
Oh yeah, the 5 year extension.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. On a real note, though, let's get to everything that people care about the motherfucking NFL playoffs now. Now that we're all done and wrapped up with college, it was still a great year. Let's dive into this. First one here on the matchups. 4:30 o'clock Saturday. Who we got between Seattle and San Francisco? I think it's a pretty easy pick.
Yeah, definitely the 49ers. Fuck Seattle.
Yeah, they kept your
Because of
Lions
them,
out
the
of playoff.
Lions. Yeah.
I
It
mean, at least
should
the
be the
Lions,
Detroit Lions.
at least they kept Aaron Rodgers out of the playoffs this year. I don't
I
even hate
guess
Aaron
so, yeah.
Rodgers, but
No, I don't really have an issue with them either. But it's just fuck Seattle because that should be the Detroit Lions playing right there.
I honestly think they would have a chance at giving San Francisco a better game because I know we talked about
I
it
think
in the
so.
first episode, but they did have the number one offense going into like week 5 or 6, which is
They're
still pretty
still up
impressive.
there, I'm pretty sure. I haven't checked it, but I know they're still top five, maybe top three offense in the NFL still, or will to end the season. And defensively, yeah. But I mean, they went 8-2 or whatever it was to end their season.
Yeah, they were definitely playing hot when it did matter, even though it just wasn't enough. But San Francisco's
Yeah,
defense is obviously the best in the fucking league, so Seattle's gonna struggle with that. Even though I wouldn't be mad if Geno Smith just balled out of control. You know, everybody's got to give him at least credit where it's due.
oh yeah, Geno Smith definitely had a very good season with the expectations of what Seattle had coming into the season, of arguably being some people thought they'd go 0-17, but being the worst team in the NFL to make the playoffs as the 7 seed, obviously very above exceeding expectations at that point. Plus Geno Smith having a Pro Bowl season. No one thought that.
And then that's pretty much that game. It's gonna come down to how well Geno Smith plays, and
Yeah.
because I mean,
It's
you
the
just got to be.
49ers, they're going to win. It's going to be 27-14. That's the score.
It's definitely their defense versus Seattle's offense. Because I know San
Yeah.
Francisco can still put up points, but whenever you're playing them, it's basically you have to make big defensive plays, but you're gonna have to outscore. You're gonna have to beat their defense pretty much.
I mean, they're obviously division rivals. So they lost both times to them during the regular season as well. They lost 27-7, and then they lost 21-13. So, and then I go 27-14 this game.
And then we got the Chargers against. This is actually one of the biggest matchups that I'm hyped for. Two really young quarterbacks.
Oh yeah.
Jacksonville sneaking in the playoffs, playing hot right now. I think this is going to be
I,
a really good game, honestly.
I still think the Chargers are gonna win. Yeah, which is technically an upset, even though record wise it's not, but seeding wise it is. I
Yeah.
think the Chargers will win.
I know one of my roommates is he is a Chargers fan, like lifelong, and dude, I don't know, man. I think there's a fair chance that Jacksonville wins that game. Like you said, it's not an upset record wise or anything. Like I don't even think people would consider it an upset if they won, other than because of the seeding. But
Yeah, I don't know. I just think the Chargers. I mean, on paper they're the better team
for
than the
sure,
Jaguars, but Jaguars do have home field. I think this will be a better game in all honesty than like if you were to pick one game to watch this tomorrow, I would pick the Chargers Jaguars game well over the Seattle 49ers game if I'm being honest. But um yeah, I don't know. I think Chargers win, but not by a lot.
yeah, it's a good game. I'm just excited because it's two young quarterbacks that have both played. I mean, obviously Justin Herbert's been talked about since he got in the league because he's been a solid quarterback since he got in the league. But Trevor Lawrence, a lot of people talking shit, and including me, when his rookie season and everything. But he's definitely proven right now that he's not gonna be a bust. I don't think at all.
No. Yeah, he's not Zach Wilson. That's his job. But um if I had to predict a score for this game, I don't know, 24 like 20 or something. It's gonna be close. It's gonna be decided by a touchdown or less.
Yeah, I don't think anybody wins by more than 10.
Yeah.
All right, well, jump into the next one. Sunday, first game at 1 o'clock. Come on, man. Easy pick. We got Miami
The
at
worst,
Buffalo.
the worst game of the playoffs right here.
I think Buffalo wins this one by like 17.
Yeah, it's not even going to be a good game. It's not. Skyler, I mean, if Tua was playing, sure, yeah, I could maybe see this being a good game again, division rivals. But Skylar Thompson's quarterback, and he's a third stringer and a rookie, and hasn't really done anything this year. So the Bills are going to win, and they're going to win for DeMar Hamlin on top of it all.
Yeah, people don't understand like how big of a. I think that plays a huge impact on everybody like connecting and playing together really fucking good too. Because I know it's college, but that's what happened when Cardell Jones won the national championship. We had Costa Cara George killed himself like 3 days before the Big Ten championship, and they came out and ran the table from there. Because that was the big thing. That whole playoff run was do it for Costa and for Costa and all that stuff. So anytime you have something big with a player like that, it really changes your team, I think.
Yeah, I mean, you could say the same with the Dolphins. Obviously, not as severe with Tua with all his um, concussions related problems,
Yeah.
but um,
On top of that,
I
Buffalo just
wonder.
being Buffalo.
I
An
wonder what's going
easy.
to happen with Tua, though. I mean, obviously, there's a good amount of people that say he should retire because it's been bad. I mean, he was throwing up literal gang signs earlier in the season. So, I don't know. I mean, if he retires, which again would make sense because he said this is his, I think, third concussion related injury in one season.
Yeah, dude,
So,
you can't keep playing if that's happening. I know it's a
yeah.
lot like softer of a game right now with how serious they take things, which is understandable that they are taking concussions and head trauma and stuff way more serious. They need to, but if you're getting listed that you clearly have concussions that many times this early in your career, it's you've made your money, dude. Don't keep getting hurt like that. I do like Tua. I was really big Miami not bandwagoner, but I was really thinking they were going to be a dark horse, but I don't want to see them keep playing with him if he's going to keep getting head injuries.
Yeah, I would say honestly, if he decides to come back next year and not retire or whatever, which I don't think he's going to, but if he gets another concussion like early on, he might retire that early.
Cuz
Because
how
it's
much
at that point, it's like you're not caring about yourself.
How much longer does he have on a contract? Do you know?
I have no idea what his contract is, but he was only drafted in 2020, I think.
So this might be
So,
towards the end of a rookie contract then.
um, maybe yeah, he might be due soon. Because I don't know how long rookie contracts are usually what like 3 seasons or something. I don't know.
Yeah, especially if this is the end of your rookie contract, then throw in the towel, man.
I mean, he'd be able to retire for life anyway. It's not like yeah, I get he's not playing the sport he like grew up playing and whatever, but he's fine financially and everything for the rest of his life. And obviously, your literal like brain is more important than playing football. So
Either way, I guess moral of the story is Buffalo big in that
yes,
game.
yeah, we're gonna. That's an easy game.
And then we got New York and Minnesota. I think this is going to be where Minnesota falls early.
You think they'll lose the Giants? I think this is arguably the best game of the playoffs. First round, I should say. This is arguably the best game between any game. Saturday through Monday. Uh, this I don't know. That's tough. I'm gonna give the edge, even though you say Giants. I'm gonna give the edge to the Minnesota Vikings. Not by a lot, though.
You think they make it
I
one round?
I think they'll make it through this round, and that's it. But I don't know. I mean, Kirk Cousins is known to just not be a good quarterback under pressure, like when basically everyone's watching him. Um,
If they're going to
but
win,
I don't
they
know.
just
I
got to.
just can't.
They can't let Saquon Barkley have a big game if they're
I
going to
was
win.
just about to say, if Saquon has a ridiculous game, then yeah, the Giants are going to stand a chance. But if like Justin Jefferson and even Dalvin Cook has a decent game, then yeah, the Vikings are going to win. The thing with the Vikings, it's not their offense actually; it's their defense. Their defense sucks. It's really bad. So, yeah, I mean, if the Vikings have just an okay defensive game, yeah, they're fine. They're going to be fine. Because offensive, we all know what they can play as with Justin Jefferson, Dalvin Cook. That way they have T.J. Hawkinson. I almost forgot about him. So
Yeah, it's a toss-up game there. And I'm going with New York, though. You're
it
sticking with the
is.
Vikings on that one.
Yeah,
In a
I'm going
close
with the
game.
Vikings. It is going to be very close.
Now, another game that should almost be a free pick since Lamar Jackson had a problem with getting offered $250 million. I think we're both probably going to go with the Bengals, obviously.
Yep, Bengals. Yeah, I'm not even going to like say much about the Ravens. I don't even know if Lamar Jackson even playing this week.
No, he's
I don't
not.
even. Yeah, I didn't think so.
He's still injured because $250 million wasn't enough. That's all the
Yeah,
memes I've been seeing.
he said that. Yeah, that was his injury. Financial cripple.
I just don't I don't want to even touch on it too long because we're mainly just talking about the playoffs. But I I don't know, man. To me, I'm not somebody to tell people what they can get. If somebody will pay them, go for it. But to not accept $250 million is insane to me. Because you're on a
Over
decent
how
team
many
that's going to be
years?
competitive every year too.
Well, how many years was it? Like, I didn't see the contract, so I don't know.
It had to have been like somewhere around 5 to 10.
I was gonna say 5 or something, yeah.
Either way,
But yeah, there's no way. Yeah, it wouldn't be 5. It was probably 10
you're a good
or
quarterback,
something
but
there.
you're not Patrick Mahomes. Nobody's going to offer you $500 million for 10 years.
Um, yeah. No, Lamar Jackson. I don't know. I mean, yeah, he had an MVP season a few years ago, but I don't know. I mean, honestly, I don't think it's not him necessarily. I think it's just the pieces around him that make him look like he's not doing anything because the receiving core's garbage. Um, but still, I don't know. The Ravens, I feel like they shouldn't be 10-7. I feel like they should be worse than that. I feel like they should be like 7-10 with the type of team that they have. But yeah, the Bengals, either way, there's Bengals are still winning on Sunday.
I would say in a similar fashion than they did Sunday or whenever that game was, Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah, yeah, that's not. It's the end of the season for the Ravens, and I wonder I wonder what's going to happen with Lamar.
No
It
idea
doesn't
where he's
sound
gonna
like he
go
wants
or
to
what's
be.
gonna happen.
Yeah, doesn't sound like he wants to be a Raven anymore.
And then to the fun Monday night matchup, Cowboys and Buccaneers at Tampa Bay.
That's tough, also.
It's funny because I enjoy but I hate shitting on Dallas at the same time because this year they're actually the best team that they've looked like they've had since people have been clowning them really hard the last like 5 years especially. And I think they're gonna lose, dude. I think Tom Brady and Tom Evans and I think they're gonna get it done in a very close game, but to me it's another toss up almost.
I know Dallas is the favorite for the obvious reason they're technically the better team, but similar to the Giants Vikings game, this is going to be this could be decided by a field goal. This game. Um. Oh, I don't know. I mean, I want to say the Buccaneers. That's what I'm going to lean towards is the Buccaneers because the Cowboys are just like known as that team that makes the playoffs. They're like good every year, well, not every year, but like last year they were 12-5, made the playoffs and lost because they didn't know how to like run the clock the right way. So this year they're back, good record. They're still going to have an issue in the playoffs and lose in the first round. And I wonder, because of that, what happens. I know the other day, I think Jerry Jones said he would not fire Mike McCarthy if they lost in the first round. Or maybe it was if they didn't win the Super Bowl. I don't remember. But he said that he wouldn't fire him. I guarantee you he would fire Mike McCarthy for not winning in the playoffs back to back years and just being a first round exit.
Yeah, I saw that thing that said he wouldn't lose his job or anything.
Yeah, I think he would. I don't think Mike McCarthy's a great head coach. I think he just happens to be on good teams.
And then the playoffs come around though.
Yeah, Mike McCarthy, I believe in the playoffs, I think he has a losing record. I don't remember what it is, but I think it's a losing record.
So you picking Dallas or Tampa Bay in this one?
I'm gonna go Tampa.
I think either way though, like we said, it should be a really close game. Should come down to a field goal. I'm not gonna say whether it comes down to a field goal or a touchdown. I think either way, it's gonna be somewhere between 3 to 6 points, and it's gonna depend on who has last possession to score for the win.
Yeah, I think this will definitely come down to a final 2 minutes of the game type of game.
Especially being an 8:15 Monday night playoff game.
Yeah, exactly. There's only a few games I don't think will come down to that, which would be the Bills Dolphins won't come down to anything like that. I don't think the 49ers Seattle game will come down to a final drive or anything like that. All the other ones, actually Bengals Ravens, I don't think it'll be as much of a blowout in that game, but it's not going to come down to a final drive. As far as the other games, Giants Vikings, Cowboys Bucks, Chargers, Jaguars, those three games 100% I could see being a final drive type game.
Yeah, for sure. That's
Uh, Actually, maybe Seattle Niners, but I think it's the Niners. It wouldn't be that close where it would be final drive. But so I shouldn't say that for Seattle because I said the Ravens Bengals won't be. I think the best blowout game to watch should be the Niners Seattle game.
I think
Not
yeah,
both.
either that or Buffalo Miami.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't know. Miami's they have two good receivers, but they don't really
Yeah.
have a quarterback to throw to them.
And
They're-
honestly, just like Bengals Baltimore, like you said, I don't think it's going to be a blowout or a final drive, but I think they win by like 14 or something.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be like a 10 plus score game. And same with this is gonna be the same with Seattle. I think they'll lose by like, what did I say, like 13 or something.
Yeah.
So
Not a three possession game or more.
right. Whereas the Bills Dolphins game, I could definitely see it being like the Bills winning by like 20 points or something. I could see that being like a 38-13 type game.
Well, we made our first round picks, so we might as well move into divisional. Who would you have in the divisionals? We'll start it off with that.
Um,
It would be
okay, so
Chiefs and who? The Bengals then? Or, I mean, Bills?
Chiefs, Bills, will they play each other?
No, it would be. Who the fuck?
It would be the Chiefs and the Chargers, I think,
That's
in
right.
this
That's
case
right.
for me.
And then Bills and Bengals.
Um, Chiefs, Chargers, division game. That's tough. Do they have Justin Herbert dethrone? Well, not dethrone, but yeah, I guess just take down Patrick Mahomes. I don't know because I think everyone wants an AFC Championship game of Chiefs Bills. Like,
Or
everyone wants that. I mean, even Joe Burrow. I mean, even Bengals and Chiefs or whatever. But I think Chiefs Bills is what everyone wants just because of what happened last year. So
yeah,
I'm gonna say Chiefs beat the Chargers, Bills beat the Bengals, and it's a rematch. And I think Bills get their revenge game. So I'm skipping around rounds now, but I think the Bills are gonna go to the Super Bowl this year.
yeah. That's the common pick that I've seen. And
It is. I mean, it's a safe pick. I mean, your safe picks for the AFC are either just picking the Bills, Bengals, or Chiefs. Those are your safe picks.
yeah,
If you wanted a dark horse, you'd probably pick the Chargers.
which is definitely possible. It's not likely, but I mean, the Chiefs lost or Chargers lost on that 90-yard pick six to the Chiefs, and I think it was like what week 3 or something. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah, I remember it. Yeah, I remember that play.
So like they prove they can compete with them. I know it's a whole different level in the playoffs, but that's another one of those games that I don't think it'd be a last possession game. But whoever's gonna win,
Yeah,
it's gonna be like a 10 point, 14 point game or something.
I definitely think that's going to be a good game. Chargers, Chiefs. I mean, same with the Bengals and Bills. I think
I
it'll
think
still be a
that'd
good
be
game.
I think that might be a final possession type of game.
That's like watching a Super Bowl in itself, right there. Even the Chiefs and Bills is like watching a Super. I mean, I don't. Out of those four teams, whoever wins it, whoever goes to the next round, either way, they're all going to be good games remaining. It's just because I think those are the four best teams in the AFC right now. So
I'm gonna go against you on one pick, and I'm sure you know which one it probably is. If we're picking
the
it all the way to
Bengals.
the Super Bowl, yep. I got Joey B going back. As long as everybody's healthy on that team, I think they can go back for sure. So that's my pick to run it on the AFC side.
I definitely think the Bengals could get a Super Bowl finally, the first in their like entire career of being a team in the next, I don't know, 3 to 5 years from now. I don't know if this is their year, but I think in the next few years they could definitely win one finally.
Yeah,
Um,
as long as Joey
yeah,
Burrow's there and they keep some of the receivers like Chase and Boyd and them they're gonna compete every year from now on. I think legitimately compete
yeah,
too. Not Andy Dalton
definitely.
sneak into the playoffs and get smashed by the
Literally,
Steelers.
yeah, literally smash Antonio's Browns into the ground.
Yeah, I guess we'll hop
But yeah,
over. Oh well, my bad. What are you gonna say?
oh no, I was gonna hop over to the NFC. So
Yeah,
that's
all
what
right.
you're about to say.
Yep. Who you got?
Uh, Your mic cut out, but
Oh, my
the
bad.
Eagles. I don't know who the Eagles would play in my little bracket I made up.
Wouldn't it be
The
the
Eagles.
winner of New York, Minnesota,
Would it be? Yeah, maybe.
or Tampa
I don't
Bay,
know.
Dallas?
I don't remember the seedings for everything. No, the Vikings are the 2 seed, aren't they? No, they're the 3 seed. Never mind. It'd be Tampa, I think.
Tampa
Yeah,
or
yeah,
Dallas, I guess.
or Dallas. Yeah.
But hypothetically, we
Uh,
said Tampa, so I guess Tampa against the Eagles. I think that's where Tom Brady chokes. Not chokes, but I think that's where
y-
Tampa gets bumped this
yeah.
year.
I mean, it's also a rematch of last year too, because the Buccaneers played them in the first round last year. I remember. and beat them. So I think it's a revenge game for last postseason as well, sort of. And yeah, Eagles win. And then you got Vikings for me, and I said they'd play the Niners. Yeah, it's gonna be 40. It's gonna be Eagles and 49ers.
I think that's what's destined. I think the NFC is a lot easier to pick than the AFC, obviously.
Yeah.
At least to get
I
to the
mean,
conference champ.
I- and in all honesty, I don't know who's gonna win that game. That Eagles Niners game, that's gonna be good. I'm gonna give the edge towards the Eagles, and so I'm gonna stick. I said this a while ago. I said this months ago before we even started any of this. I'm pretty sure. I said the NFL is rigged. It's going to be a Bills Eagles Super Bowl, and the Eagles are going to beat them.
You did say that. Unless they want to have Buffalo win it for DeMar. I mean, Buffalo's obviously good enough to win the Super Bowl anyway. But
Yeah, they are.
yeah, I'd probably have to go Eagles though. Ultimately, I think I don't know, man. I think as long as they're completely healthy and stuff, I think
Wait, it is real. If the Niners go to the NFC Championship game, I could be wrong, because I know last year they went. I think the year before they went, I think, because that was so it was last year. Bengals, Rams, and the Rams beat the Niners to get there. And then the year before that, so the 21 Super Bowl, who was that? Was that I don't even remember. Was that the Buccaneers and Chiefs?
2020, yeah, yeah, that was the COVID Super Bowl.
Let me look. Because I think if so, that means the Niners would like have gone to like three straight NFC Championship games.
While you're looking that up, I just want to say I'm sure it's part of the reason you'd say Eagles beat the Niners too. I mean, give him credit. If Brock Purdy manages to get to a Super Bowl, he might be the next fucking Tom Brady. But he's young and doesn't have the experience or anything. It's only like his gonna be his fourth or fifth start against Seattle.
Yeah,
Yeah, I just
he
don't think he has the experience to get them to the Super Bowl, as great as their
no,
defense is. And if he does,
I
then
don't know.
we might be watching the next Tom Brady. But
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think he's gonna be fine. I mean, he's been fine all season so far since he's been playing. But oh no, okay, I'm looking at it now. It was the year Tampa beat Kansas City. Tampa beat Green Bay in the NFC Championship game.
yeah, because Aaron Rodgers didn't want to run for a touchdown in the fourth
Oh,
quarter.
San Francisco. They didn't even make the playoffs that year. Um, oh, that's right, because they drafted Trey Lance, so they were terrible. It was the year before that. San Francisco literally went to the Super Bowl, which a lot of people forgot that they were in. People remember the Chiefs won, but they just forgot that San Francisco was the team that they played. And San Francisco, I think, actually had the lead in that game. They blew it, and then yeah, so never mind. They've gone a couple times in the past 3 years.
So we got you with Bills, Eagles in the Super Bowl, Eagles winning. I
Mhm.
got Bengals, Eagles, and I'm gonna be pulling for the Bengals, but I am gonna pick the Eagles to win it all this year.
I mean, I would like to see a new team finally win. I know the Eagles have only won once in their entire existence. So, like, if the Bills won, the Bengals won, even like the Chargers won, the Vikings won, which that's not going to happen. But if any of those other three teams that I just said, which is more realistic, one, I'd be okay with that. Just because they don't, I just like to see new winners,
Yeah, it's
especially Bengals and Bills. They both deserve one, specifically the Bills more so than the Bengals.
I do want to say for this playoffs, it's obviously hard every year to get matchups where every single game should be a really good game, but I do think this year is going to be like how this season's kind of went, honestly. I think majority of these games are going to be really good games, and Not a lot of blowouts or anything.
No, there shouldn't be any um, major ones anyway.
If I was
Again, the
gonna,
only one that I could see, Bills Dolphins, the only one I
yep,
could see being a pretty big like not upset, blowout. But that's it.
and that's just because the quarterback situation. Even without Lamar Jackson, Bengals don't, like we said, don't blow out the
Yeah, I don't
Ravens.
think yeah.
San Francisco could too, like we said, but yeah, and don't really see that happening.
Yeah, I would say I don't even consider like the Chargers beating the Jaguars, even though technically is an upset. I don't consider it one similar to the Cowboys if they beat the Buccaneers. I don't consider that really an upset. I think the way that the playoffs work in terms of how things are, I think it's stupid. I think they should do it how the NBA does it, where it's based off conference, not based off of division. Division, if you win your division in the NBA, it doesn't matter because it's all based off your conference.
Yeah,
I think
I,
I should do it like that because again, you have the Buccaneers who are 8-9 having home field advantage on the Cowboys who are 12-5.
yeah. It's to me, it just makes everything way more confusing than it needs to be. I guess not even confusing. It just doesn't make sense sometimes.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Or like
And I
Los
mean,
Angeles playing at Jacksonville.
yeah, that's another one. I mean, it's just those two, but it doesn't make sense for a team that has a better record and played better all season, more specifically the Cowboys and Buccaneers, to play like that all season and not have home field advantage. And you're going on the road, which obviously puts you at a disadvantage. And yeah, I don't know. It just makes things harder.
Yeah, it doesn't matter who it is. If you're playing on the road, that's insane. To
Yeah,
be the way better record too by like how many more wins does Dallas have? Like 4 or 5 wins. I think
yeah,
4 wins.
4. I know they played each other earlier in the year. I think at the maybe was it the literal first week of the season? I don't remember, but I think the Buccaneers beat them too. Actually, it was they literally first game of the season they beat the Buccaneers or Cowboys. I mean, 19-3.
Yeah, I really think I know you said it too. I think it's going to be a really good game. Whoever has last possession type game, but Tampa Bay I think really does get it done. Knocks Dallas off again. Keeps the memes well alive.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I definitely want to see that game. And tomorrow, honestly, if I miss Seattle, I mean, I'll watch it. I'll probably have it tabbed or something. But I definitely want to see the Chargers Jaguars game. That's the game I want to see. Like mostly because they're two teams that don't win. You never really see. I think this is the first time the Jaguars have been in the playoffs since 2017, and that was the year that they lost to the Patriots in the AFC Championship game. And Blake Bortles was their quarterback somehow. And then you have the Chargers, who I just feel like barely ever go to the playoffs. I don't know when the last time they were in it were, but they don't really do anything when they go to the playoffs anyway.
Yeah, I think every week here, as we've been saying for this whole NFL week, now it's playoff time. It's even more hyped. I think every week's going to be really enjoyable to pick,
Oh,
especially if there's
this is kind
upsets.
of this is off topic. Well, it's on topic, but not like about the playoffs. Tom Brady, where do you think Tom Brady's gonna go next year, or do you think he'll even play next year?
I think if he does play, I know I can understand like I talked to you about what they were saying him going to the Raiders. I just don't see that happening. If he's going to play a final year or go somewhere else, I think he's going to go back to New England for 1 year if that's the case. Or he
Do you
stays in
think he'd
Tampa
actually?
Bay.
Do you think he'd actually play though if he went to New England? Only because of their quarterback situation that they already have. They already have Mac Jones, a first round pick. And then they also have Bailey, but obviously you'd still start Tom over Bailey. But more so, would it be Tom if that happened? Would it be Tom or Mac Jones playing quarterback?
I mean, it'd definitely have to be Tom Brady.
But then it's just like you're sitting a first round pick on your bench as a backup when he's not a backup material quarterback, not yet anyway. I just
Yeah, it'd be
I
insane to
feel like
do, but
I
that's
just feel like the Raiders make sense because it sounds like they don't want Derek Carr anymore. Um, and it's like your other options either draft or Jarrett Stidham. And the Raiders are a team that they're not rebuilding. They have Devontae Adams, they have Josh Jacobs. Those two alone are arguably, you could say, the best at their position in the entire NFL. You throw Tom Brady in there, who's just known for what he's known for. And because I know also the people have also said the 49ers, but it's like they're not going to do that. They have Trey Lance. They're going to, even though Brock Purdy's been good, I think Trey Lance is still their starter next year. They're just going to maybe move on from Garoppolo. I think he's not there anymore, but that's besides the point. But yeah, I think Tom Brady going to the Raiders does make a ton of sense
it
if he
does.
plays.
If he plays, I think he either stays in Tampa or goes to New England for a farewell tour, pretty much.
I was going to say, I think if he went to New England, it would be to like sign as a 1 day contract just to retire as a Patriot. That's the only reason he would go back to the Patriots. It wouldn't actually be to play though.
I guess they'd just be throwing money in the wind with a and a draft pick into the wind if they did bring him back. But
Well, they would sign him because this is last year on contract, I believe, with
yeah,
the
for Tampa,
Buccaneers.
yeah, it is.
So,
Uh,
um,
I guess it just depends on how much longer he plans on playing. I think if he's gonna play just one more
I mean,
season,
in reality, I think he should just retire.
yeah.
But,
He's
um,
crazy though, and he said he. I don't think he's going to, but he did say pretty seriously in an
he's going to
interview
play
that
till he's 50, right?
yeah, which he's
Yeah.
crazy. So I mean, with him coming back after like 2 weeks of retirement, who honestly knows? He could legitimately try to play like 3 or 4 or 5 more seasons.
And let's be honest, his wife, that's part of the reason they're divorced. It's because he didn't retire and didn't
Yeah,
want to be home with his like kids. But
fuck them kids. Dad needs more chips.
yeah, yeah, what if that's what he said? Um, but I don't know. I still going back to what you said about the New England. I just can't. I don't think that would happen. I know, like I get it makes sense, but like for who he is, but in terms of the actual team of the Patriots have, it wouldn't work. And it's like you're benching Mac Jones all season then. The Mac Jones is then gonna bitch and complain and be like, I don't want to be here, even though it's just
Yeah,
for a season. Unless Tom Brady's a backup, why would you do that? You wouldn't have Tom Brady be a backup.
yeah. Well, and honestly, I think the playoffs this year has a lot to depend on what happens. Because I mean, if he manages to somehow, in the name of God, get back to a conference championship or fucking Super Bowl,
I think if they win the Super Bowl, he'd retire. He'd go out on a win. I don't think he'd be like, okay, I won a Super Bowl. I can continue doing this. Let me come back another year and try it again.
I don't know. I
I don't
think
think
that's
he'd do
his
that.
mindset.
He should go to the Texans and just see if he can take that team to a Super Bowl.
At 46 years old,
Yeah.
time to carry this fucking shit show to a Super Bowl.
Texans say, oh, well, I mean, they have a quarterback problem now, I guess, is the Ravens. But I don't think he would go there.
Yeah, I mean, wide receiving core wise, I mean, obviously, yes, the Raiders make the most sense. I just think it honestly depends on what happens this season. Because I mean, even if they got to a conference championship this season, if he doesn't retire, he might just come back to Tampa Bay.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, Tampa had a very, very bad season for what they were projected to be, but they still made the playoffs in a very weak division.
And it's still pretty
I,
much the same team that he's had the last 3 seasons there,
I
or two
mean, yeah.
seasons.
So if he stays in the NFL, he's gonna stay either with the Buccaneers again or the Raiders. But if not the Raiders, another team that needs a quarterback that's also like really not a bad team, and they could just be a quarterback away from doing anything because the quarterback they had was just not good this year. The Colts. I think that's another team that he. And I know people would say, oh, he wouldn't do that because the Patriots Colts rivalry with Peyton and Tom, maybe potentially like that could be in their head. But LeBron James did it with the Lakers. I mean, the Lakers and Kobe, like LeBron and Kobe didn't have a rivalry, but it's just like the fact that whatever they ended up playing on the same team as each other, just
Yeah.
not with together, obviously. Um, he could be a Colt.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting for me. I guess I can't say anything until I see how far they go in the playoffs. If they get bounced
Yeah,
first round by Dallas, I couldn't tell you in the slightest what's gonna happen with Tom Brady or what he's gonna do.
he could still have the mentality of I just don't have it in me anymore type of thing. I'm not good anymore. Well, whatever his mindset is, and just call it. But I don't know. I think I think he should retire though. He should, but I don't know if he will.
Yeah, he's an actual lunatic. He's a Michael Jordan. If Michael Jordan actually cared about his health for 25 years, pretty much.
I wonder what Michael Jordan's stats would have been like if he didn't retire for those like 2 years and then
And if he
came back.
wasn't drinking and smoking cigars his last like 5 years every day.
I saw a picture of him. Have you seen his eyes? They're like yellow.
Oh, dude, it's bad.
Yeah.
Especially when he was on the Wizards.
Yeah. Michael Jordan. Now we have, I don't know who we have now. Ben Simmons.
Yeah, I will say NBA wise, it's starting to get interesting. We don't even need to go into any full segment, but it's the same way NBA and college basketball. There's obviously always stuff to talk about, but it's usually deeper in the season when it's what we said before we started this. In 1 month, February, mid February, NCAA will be super interesting because we'll actually really know kind of who is for sure
Yeah, I mean, you'll
legit.
know some. I don't know, 'cause some mid-major division. I was gonna say you might even know some teams who make it by that point. Maybe, especially maybe the end of February because mid-major conferences have their tournaments early. But the yeah, the thing with March or college basketball right now is there's no, at least to me, there's no like front runner. Like, yeah, this is the team that looks like they're gonna win. There isn't one. Um, which is good. Makes it interesting. I mean, if I said this before, but if I had to pick one right this second, I'd probably pick Kansas, but that's also meaning I'm picking a team to repeat, which doesn't really happen.
Purdue's let me down every year too that I've picked. I've never picked them to win it all, but I've picked them to the Natty and the Final Four multiple times over the last like 5 seasons.
Yeah, for all I know, it could be like Iowa State winning it all this year. That's either, but that's just like you never know.
Yeah, we'll start doing some heavy college basketball and NBA and stuff once everything's wrapped up with NFL.
Right.
Because obviously
Which
it's
so we got
we
a
could
month
rant
from now.
forever about anything going on with the NFL, especially during the playoffs. And we'll have the draft coming up when is it? In April?
NFL draft, yeah, it's like late April. It's like April 20 something, 20th. I don't know.
But I don't know. Do you have anything else to add for this week?
No, not really. Outside the fuck Seattle.
Yeah, Geno Smith. You're not gonna win
Yeah,
shit.
yeah. I hope Joey Bosa like breaks his leg or
Oh.
Is it Nick Bosa? I forget which one's on it. I think it's Nick.
For the Chargers, or Jesus Christ, no, I mean why am I
The
blanking
Niners.
right now? Yeah, yeah, it's Nick Bosa on the Niners.
Yeah, I was gonna say Joey's on the Chargers,
But
but yeah.
that's it. I think then for right now, I've been a lazy fuck, so TikTok's not linked on the YouTube yet, unless you put it on there. But we'll put it on
I
there. We're gonna wrap this up, get a TikTok made for you guys. Even though if you actually listen to this, it's not gonna be anything. It's not gonna be anything different than what you just heard. It's just gonna be a really pretty much this week is a shorter pick for just all of our playoff predictions anyway. But if you have everything or said everything you need to say, that's all I got for this week. It's going to be a good playoff.
Should be.
All right, y'all. Go check the TikTok if you're interested in that kind of stuff. It's the same as the YouTube channel. And we will see y'all after we figure out who wins this week. Peace.